I went to DeLaSalle High School for 4 years of high school. And a lot of people think about DeLaSalle High School as being on Nicollet Island, which it is. But there were so many students, all boys, who wanted to get into DeLaSalle High School when I was going to be a freshman, that they said at one point that no one from South Minneapolis was going to be able to attend DeLaSalle High School. There would be only kids from the north side of Minneapolis or from northeast Minneapolis that would be able to attend. And some parents got together and made a little bit of noise. And what happened was that they opened an entire building for freshmen on the south side of Minneapolis at 43rd and Wentworth Avenue, and that's where I spent my freshman year, along with all the other guys in the freshman class. We got there every day by Minneapolis transportation. I will date myself by saying I rode streetcars. Then after freshman year, the last 3 years of high school were spent on Nicollet Island, at the place that is still DeLaSalle High School. But senior year for us as students at DeLaSalle was a memorable year because we had, maybe it started because we were all together in that one little building as freshmen. We were very rebellious. And we concluded very early on that we didn't like the principal. And we were going to do, some of us were more involved in this than others, and I'm not one of the ones who was deeply involved. We were going to do anything we could to disrupt the tranquility of the school. One day, the senior class refused to go back to class. We held a little pep rally in the gym. We took over the gym and held a pep rally led by some of the athletes and some others in the class. When we actually got back to class, it was not very pleasant, but that was one incident. And then there was this whole thing with a new teacher. He lasted only 1 year. I should feel sad about what we did to this person, but it was memorable in several ways. His name was Mr. Novak. He taught problems of democracy, and he didn't know how to teach at all. And we didn't learn very much about government, but we did learn an awful lot about Mr. Novak's personal life. Because whenever it came to the point, it was kind of like Mike Carbo, we could get him talking about things. And it came to the point where I had to give a speech as a senior in English class. I didn't quite know what topic to choose. So I hit on a topic that I'm sure totally baffled the teacher of the class. But it got rave reviews from my classmates because I gave a speech as if it were my life, but they all knew that it was Mr. Novak's life. I told story after story that I remembered from what he had told us in class. And that wasn't the end of the whole Mr. Novak story, who came to be called Tiger Novak, because he was a very mild-mannered guy. The day before winter break, I recall the class degenerating totally. Mr. Novak ended up on the shoulders of two of the football players, saying, now class, and we eventually put the poor fella down on the ground. But it continued. And Mr. Novak's class was totally out of control, so that one day, all the people in our class, all the kids in the class were told, when the bell rings, leave quick. So we did. We got out of class very quickly. And when we got out in the hallway, we heard the firecrackers go off in the desk of the student who told us that we should leave class early. Firecrackers went off in the desk, and that caused us to spend a lot of time after school as a group waiting for that person to own up to the fact that he had actually set up the firecrackers in the desk in Tiger Novak's room. The only reason that we eventually, before graduation, didn't spend every day after school was because some of the guys in the class said, you gotta tell him you're the one. We were pretty solid behind this guy. but they were losing money. These are the guys who had jobs and had to go to jobs after school. So that one got pretty well out of control. But the administration got it back together. Those are some of the kind of crazy things about Mr. Novak's class and about what a senior class can do if they get out of control.